Aaron Rodgers was popping off recently on the Pat McAfee show about his final experience with the New York Jets, and it didn't go the way that he had envisioned. He flew all the way across the country on his dime to sit with New York Jets' new head coach, Aaron Glenn, and the new regime that they have up there. And Aaron Glenn, he didn't want to beat around the bush when it came to Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers pretty much got a dose of his own medicine. You know how he likes to leave these teams in limbo when it comes to his future, like what he's doing with the Steelers at the moment, what he did with the Green Bay Packers. Well, Aaron Glenn wasn't playing none of that shit. He wanted a firm answer from Aaron Rodgers. You sure you want to play football? Yes or no? What does Aaron Rodgers say? The typical Aaron Rodgers response, yeah, I'm interested. Aaron, what is I'm interested? The dude asked you a simple question. Do you still want to play football? Yes or no? And you didn't give Aaron Glenn the answer he was looking for. Yeah, I'm interested doesn't show that you still plan on playing. So, of course, Aaron Glenn claps back and he says, how do you want to be released? And Aaron Rodgers is like, He's shocked because, remind you, Aaron Rodgers has never been in a situation like this before. He has always had the advantage when it comes to these kind of scenarios, but not this time. Aaron Glenn put his foot down, and he pretty much said that I don't want to be in the room saying something, and guys are looking back at you, pretty much insinuating that Aaron Rodgers will be undermining him. And Aaron Rodgers felt disrespected by these comments. His ego was hurt by Aaron Glenn, and he says, Aaron Glenn, I don't know you, and you definitely don't me. And Aaron Glenn was like, yeah, you don't know me. Get the hell out of my organization. And told Aaron Rodgers to get the step in and to lock the door when he's leaving on the way. Round of applause to Aaron Glenn for not putting up with any of this Aaron Rodgers nonsense. Look, I love Aaron Rodgers, but I watched a little bit of his documentary, and he's a little bit of a complicated person. I'm not going to say he's weird, but he definitely is a complicated person. He's not your average Joe. He has a different way of thinking. And Aaron Rodgers, with the kind of personality that he has, he isn't for everybody. You're either going to love him or you're going to hate him. And Aaron Glenn, you know what they say? First impressions are everything. And Aaron Rodgers didn't make a good first impression on Aaron Glenn to keep it nice. And they now have moved on with Justin Fields, which looks like will be their starting quarterback for this upcoming season. Of course, with the draft being just around the corner, they definitely probably are going to draft a QB in the middle rounds as well. But Aaron Rodgers pretty much got his ego hurt. Aaron Glenn, he kind of walked all over Aaron, kind of made him feel a little bit less than what he normally feels like. And listen, you have to feel really confident about the direction the Jets are heading with Aaron Glenn and this new regime. The old regime was on their knees with their pom-poms out, sucking up Aaron Rodgers, getting bent over, listening to his every demand. And I'm not saying that Aaron Rodgers was fully accountable for how disastrous last season was, but he definitely was 70% responsible for the mess. The Jets pretty much gave him all the players that he asked for. He had a little bit of say in the coaching staff with Nathaniel Hackett being his offensive coordinator. Aaron Glenn, with how Aaron Rodgers was used to having so much control, he was right to assume that Aaron Rodgers was going to be a little bit of a drama queen. He was going to drag this situation out. This is just who Aaron Rodgers is as a person. He loves to feel wanted. He loves the attention, and he does things in a manner that he feels the world only revolves around him. With Aaron Glenn, he's like, no, buddy, if you're going to be a New York Jet or a part of my squad, you're going to do things the way I want them. And if I tell you to do something, I don't want you going back to the guys in the locker room and forcing them to do otherwise, because then you're going to cause dysfunction among my team, because guys aren't going to know who to listen to, me as a head coach or you. And Aaron Glenn, being a rookie head coach, If he would have decided to roll with Aaron Rodgers, it would have made things hella complicated for him. Aaron Rodgers, with the respect that he has among his peers in the league, regardless of what you guys may think about Aaron Rodgers being a locker room cancer, there were a lot of players, including Quentin Williams, who weren't really happy with the news that he was getting released. And it seems like a lot of guys in that organization really liked Aaron Rodgers. Although Garrett Wilson and him had a little bit of static, for the most part, Aaron Rodgers was pretty beloved. But if you are going to be a first-year head coach and your first job is trying to rebuild a franchise or turn around a franchise that hasn't been that good for well over a decade, having a guy with the kind of pull Aaron Rodgers has makes it hard to get guys to buy in, because they still are going to be looking at Aaron Rodgers for the leadership when the leadership has to be coming from Aaron Glenn. So you get rid of Aaron Rodgers, now it makes it a lot easier to get everybody on board. And Aaron Rodgers is one of those kinds of players where he's not really a team player per se. He's more of a individual. He's more of a I guy. And to be a successful football team, everybody has to be aligned. From the organization on the front office level, executive level, to the coaches, to the players. And Aaron Rodgers has been known to beat to the beat of his own drum, if that's what you want to call it. And Aaron Glenn pretty much telling them to get the F out of my facilities is pretty much telling Aaron Rodgers that, you know, I don't appreciate your attitude. I don't really like how you go about addressing my questions, because Aaron Rodgers never gives you a direct answer. And yeah, you probably could have handled this with the phone call. If you would have released Aaron Rodgers on the phone, he would have came out and said that I just felt it was a little bit disrespectful for a player of my caliber, a future first ballot Hall of Famer, to get cut on the phone. I would have at least liked the common courtesy of being released in person. So no matter what, Aaron Rodgers was going to feel slighted in this situation. He's never been cut before. He's always been at the power advantage with guys sucking up to him. Aaron Glenn wasn't tolerating that shit. And you got to feel confident about what he's going to bring to this Jets organization in the near future. This is already a W, and the season hasn't even started, but Aaron Glenn, this was a culture-setting moment for him. He sent the message to the rest of that locker room. He said that we don't care who you are, what you've done in your career up to this point. If you're not willing to buy in, and you're not willing to be all into the culture that I'm trying to instill into this franchise, you can pack your bags and you can get to stepping. And Aaron Rodgers' ego, let's be honest, Aaron Glenn kind of hurt. He hurt his ego. And that's why Aaron Rodgers popped off the way he did on Pat McAfee about his last experience on the New York Jets.